Hi, today I'm going to show you how to make a light bulb. Now, a lot of people think that the light bulb was invented by Thomas Edison, but that is not correct. Thomas Edison developed a commercially viable filament. Now, the filament is the wire inside of the light bulb that heats up and glows, producing the light. He created one so that it would last for a long time and people could actually use it in their homes. So to make our light bulb today, first we're going to need a jar, a glass jar preferably, so it doesn't melt. You're going to need one that has a lid, so you can use a mason jar like us, but you can also use a spaghetti sauce jar or jam jar, something of that nature. Now you're also going to need 2 copper wires with the ends exposed. So you can just peel off the ends, and then I took a hammer and a nail and poked 2 holes in my lid and fed my copper wire through it. And I twisted a little bit so it would stay in place. And you're also going to want to put hooks on each end of your wires, and you'll see why we need to do that in just a minute. So in addition to our jar and our copper wire, you're going to need a filament. So this is galvanized wire. It's actually picture frame wire that you use to hang up pictures. So we took it and we cut about 1.5 inches or so of these things. Now they're made up of lots of little different wires. So what you'll do is you will separate each of these wires out and take about 3 or 4 of them and twist them together. This is definitely something you're going to want to do ahead of time. You're not going to want to do this in class when you're in the middle of the demonstration. It can take a little while to get all of those separated. So if you use 3 wires, it's going to burn brighter, but it's also going to burn out faster. If you use 4 of them twisted together, it won't get quite as bright, but it will last a little bit longer. And that's what we found works the best, is about 3 or 4 of them. So you have your filament, and then you're also going to need some power. So you're going to want to get a 6-volt battery. So you need a 6-volt battery. If you have a 9-volt, it's not going to work. Even though it has more volts, you still need the 6-volt battery. And the reason why that is that though this has 9 volts in it, it only has about ½ amp, whereas this has about 2 amps. So to know what the difference between an amp and a volt is kind of like the difference between water and water pressure. So your amp is your water and your volts are your water pressure. So if you have a squirt gun, you may have a lot of pressure in it or a lot of volts, but you don't have a lot of amps. So it's not going to do a lot of damage, and that's like this. Now if you get a static shock, if you're walking around and you get a little static shock, that's about 5,000 volts, and a taser is about 100,000 volts. And even though those might hurt a bit when you get shocked with them, they don't do a lot of damage. So back to our light bulb, you're going to take your filament, and you're going to take your lid and your copper wires, and you're going to wrap the filament around the copper wire. And you're going to want to wrap the filament around the wire instead of trying to get the wire around the filament. It just works a little bit better. The filament's a little bit more bendy. So you're going to want to do both edges, and this is going to help complete the circuit. So we have our filament on there. We're going to take the glass part of our jar, get that connected. So you're going to take each end of the copper wire and connect it to the terminal. Give it a minute, and the copper wire is going to start to heat up. Now we've already got some smoke going, and you can see that it's heating up. Now they'll last varying times. This one's going for quite a while. Eventually it's going to burn out, just like a regular light bulb does. Now this is a lot faster, burns out a lot faster than a regular light bulb. So this will continue to burn for about a minute or so. Some go faster, some go shorter, just depending on how much oxygen there is. So the next time we do it, we're going to take the jar and we're going to turn it upside down to kind of trap the smoke. The smoke will prevent any oxygen from getting in there, and so that it will burn longer. And you're going to want to be very careful because this is getting very hot. This is red hot wire, basically. So the reason why this light bulb lasts a lot longer than our light bulb is that our light bulb has air in it, whereas in this light bulb, it is a vacuum. Now I don't mean a vacuum there you clean your floors with, a vacuum meaning it's void of air. The air makes the filament burn hotter and brighter, and so then it burns out a lot faster. Whereas the lack of air inside of this light bulb helps it to be more commercially viable, which was part of what Thomas Edison discovered. So that is our homemade light bulb.